But in the meantime, let's get things kicked off in the booth with Bowie. How long do we have until we kick off? Oh, really? I thought we went live at past. Ah, okay, cool. Okay, great, amazing. Sure. I don't know where the bow can be. Bow can be.
Turned up court.
Hello. I can hear you now as well.
What lyrically impressive.
Hello, this is me talking in the handheld. Nims, excuse me, this is a closed area.
I said he could come in. It's my bad.
Hello, you're right. Oh, it's misjudged shots. Judged shots.
As if you misjudged your shot.
Exactly. How are you doing, Nims?
Lose your bliss.
Good. Oh, sorry. Handheld. Sorry. This is me talking in the handheld. Is that okay? Hello? Hello? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We're doing all... welcome to Nintendo UK versus Live here at Insomnia in Birmingham. My name's Lissy, I'm going to be one of your hosts for today. And if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. It's good to have you here. Pull up a beanbag. We've got lots of beanbags down here at the show. But that's not what I want to show you. What I want to show you is this behind me. Today is Splatoon 2 day. So join us throughout the day and we'll be bringing you tournaments from some of the best players in the UK. They're going to be competing in our tournament zone here in front of the lovely Splatoon 2 tower. And then, later on, if you come back this afternoon, here on the main stage behind me that's about to kick off, we're going to have those players come back and compete in the grand final. We've seen some incredible plays over previous Nintendo UK versus Live events, so I'm looking forward to seeing what our players have in store. But if you are coming down this weekend, let me show you a little bit about what you can expect to see, because in this corner on the Nintendo stand, we have a bunch of games. We've got Fortnite, Mario Tennis Aces, we've got Monster Hunter Ultimate, Overcooked 2. There are so many games. Some of them haven't even been released yet, so hopefully you guys are going to come down and play them with us. But if not, stick around because we will be bringing you all the action. In the meantime, though, I'm going to throw over to the man, the myth, the legend, Bowie, who's sat in the booth. So, see you guys in a bit.
Thank you very much, Alicia, and welcome, of course, to Insomnia63 with Nintendo UK Versus. My name is Bowie Alexander, and myself and Alicia will be your hosts for this weekend. And as Alicia did allude to, today is Splatter Day. We're going to be having a tournament over the course of the day for the Splatoon 2 Octo League. Of course, our winners of that will be also joining the other winners throughout the year thus far in the National Championships later on this year. So lots to play for. And joining me now in the commentary booth is, of course, the lovely Alicia Judge. Hello. She'll get set up. It's been a while. It's been a long time. It's been, obviously, so far, we've done about, I think, 3 or so shows now, two
Yeah,
shows.
it's been loads.
It's, yeah, and we've been gearing up towards, you know, these national championships later on. It's going to be getting bigger and better as we go. But, yeah, I think it's been a while since I've been at Insomnia myself. I've been either at other events that have been around the same time or unable to make it, so it's nice to be back here.
This is actually my first Insomnia, so it's been really fun just wandering through all of the different stands. Some of them are mad. There's a climbing wall. Yeah. There's also a real-life Five Nights at Freddy's somewhere else, which is terrifying. I'm quite glad to be on the Nintendo stand with Mario.
It's light and breezy, yeah.
Exactly. And we've got good games.
Yeah, oh, well, of course we do. Absolutely we do. It was amazing as always. I mean, I think everyone knows that everyone's excited for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, but again, you walk past the booth area as the doors just open and it's just crowded. It's silly. But yeah, Insomnia is quite an interesting event, I've always found as well, because, you know, EGX, I think, as kind of like a bigger event, tends to be a bit more geared towards, you know, maybe like some of the older, you know, age ranges of gamers. I think Insomnia has that entry level as well to some of the younger audiences. So we do have a bit of a younger audience here, which is very, very nice to see, you know, young kids getting involved in playing games as well.
But saying that, and also, like, you get people from all over the world coming here to Insomnia. Last night, we were at the hotel bar, and
here we go.
Well, let me tell you a story. I want to tell you a story about a man named Johannes that we saw sitting in the bar by himself. We invited over Johannes. We were like, come join us, good friend. Sit with us, have a beer, have some ale. And he told us that he'd flown from Amsterdam by himself to come to Insomnia. Nice. So much did he want to be here. Nice. And I was like, why Insomnia? Like, why not Gamescom? And he was just like, Insomnia just seems like, he was literally like, it just seems like a really fun show. Yeah. And like I said, this being my first one, I can kind of see his point. It's like, it's really busy, loads of people, loads of games. So we'll see what happens over the next couple of days. I think
the really nice thing as well about Insomnia is it's this kind of like two-part thing. You have like the BYOC on the other side when everyone's kind of coming around and, you know, true to the name of Insomnia, you know, having a big kind of like, it's almost like it is a gaming festival. It is kind of like that. You know, everyone's coming around and like camping in a way, playing games all weekend, and that's kind of like the original Insomnia. Then they kind of have this new offshoot of this more kind of like convention style thing, which is really, really exciting to see as well. Yeah. It's good to have it. It's good to have it.
But, I mean, coming up today, what have we got happening on the Nintendo stand for you guys at home?
In terms of like what we have on the stand, like available for players, well, for the guys at home, it's going to be Splatoon 2 all day. It's going to be so much excitement. I think we are going to have a little bit of a section on stage. You can remind me, I'm just going to have a little check to see if I'm wrong. Probably am wrong.
I think at 3 o'clock we've got Super Smash Bros. Ultimate happening on the stage.
That is the one, yes,
which is really cool. So if you guys watched our stream back, it was Nintendo UK versus Live a few weeks ago, maybe like 3 weeks ago or so.
It feels like it was much sooner, but yeah, about 2 or 3 weeks back, we were in London at the Royal Horticultural Halls.
Ooh, it was so fancy.
I'm amazed I still remembered that was the name of the place. But yeah, that was all kind of like everything about the competitive spirit of Nintendo. And again, that's what we're bringing you to here is, and we will have a invitational. Like a fun little exhibition and showcase today, and then a smaller invitational tomorrow as well. So plenty of Smash action. Smaction, would that work?
Ooh, I like it.
Smaction.
I like it. Hold on a sec, let me text the dictionary people
Text
to
the
say that we've got a new word.
Yep. We'll speak to Susie Dent. Susie Dent. She's a lexicographer.
Good old Suze.
Yeah, we like Susie Dent. If you don't know who Susie Dent is, she's a lexicographer.
I don't know who Susie Dent is.
Really?
No.
You don't watch Countdown?
Ah!
Dictionary corner. Like, okay.
Don't let us.
I'm showing my age again. I keep on getting you keep on having a go at me that all of my references are really old.
Go.
I'm talking about like blankety blank and stuff, and it's like no one knows what this is.
Every stream, guys.
But it's Countdown.
Let's start. I'm gonna
That's a British institution. If you're British, you know Countdown.
So to the production team who are listening, can we get a whiteboard for the next event, and I can just have a tally score at the back for every time
really old
this
references.
guy makes an old reference.
Shows his age. When we're going to get a little lower third coming up saying, yeah, sure, fine. Thanks, guys.
Done.
Yeah. So to get back on track, because no, I love a good tangent. It's me. I'm sorry. I love a good tangent. They're great. It will be Splatoon, and then we're going to have a little a bit of Smash fun, and it is going to be the Octo League stuff. So the way it's going to work is we're going to have two pools, two waves. Wave A going to be starting very, very shortly, and then Wave B will be starting a little bit later on. And we're going to have, I believe, two top teams from those sides to go into a final on the main stage, two semi-finals into a final. We will be single elimination across the board as well. So yeah, it's going to be all to play for. It's going to be quite exciting though, because we do have last year's champions of 2017, Team Marco, are going to be making their 2018 debut into this year's national championships.
No way.
So it's going to be good to see them as well. And I believe a couple of other teams. Let me just have a little look at my thingy here, because I've got them just here. A couple of teams that we do also know, I believe it's Team Static, I believe, are made up of some players from North Wales and from Manchester as well, so we've got them coming together to have a nice little team there. And then there's some names that we know from other teams. Sheldon's pick, I think Scotso was a player that we've seen this year, and is kind of coming in with another team, with a team that he's kind of I think maybe his more regular team, to see how it goes today.
Nice, so good mix of teams and talents.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think Incognito, again, we saw them at MCM, so they're going to be having a second shot at getting into that national championships. So been practicing up, hopefully. Or maybe
they've had a couple of months now to refine their technique.
Absolutely.
When is the national championships, Bowie?
This is a question that always eludes me, and I'm going to have to figure out exactly when it is. I believe it's in November. I will get the exact dates to you ASAP, so I'll just...
But coming up soon.
And then hopefully I'll be able to get that to you. November, there we go, fantastic. I was correct. The exact dates will be obviously alerted. You'll be alerted to that ASAP. If you haven't already, do follow this Twitter account right here, Nintendo UK Versus, and that's where you'll find out all about those tournaments when they are announced fully and specifically.
And it's even really worth following just for this weekend, because we'll have loads of little snippets of interviews with the players, them giving their tips, little cutouts of the stream. So yeah, there's loads of really, really cool kind of Nintendo UK Versus Live content.
If you missed a game and you want to check out a VOD, it's going to be all there. But there is also the Nintendo UK Versus YouTube as well you can catch. And the Nintendo UK YouTube as well to catch any videos you might have missed. So it's all there and all for you to watch. So if you did miss it a little bit, don't be sad. The beauty of the internet is that if it's on the internet, it never goes away.
There it goes.
It never goes away.
Never goes away.
Ever. For good or for bad.
I know.
For better or worse.
Never leaves.
Oh man, a lot of pressure on us then for sure.
I know.
But yeah, so yeah, that's kind of the general structure. We'll have the Wave A, Wave B, then we'll have our Smash Showcase, and then it's into the finals, and that'll be your lot for the day.
Yeah.
So if you are a Splatoon fan, this is where you want to be. Exciting times. So let me have a look at the bracket as well. We have a few of our teams have been sorted out. We've got Incognito have signed in and they're ready to go. You're right there. XYZ so far do good. And then we're waiting for another team, and then Team Static are all here. You okay? It's okay. It's fine. You can take the headset off and have a cough away. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Live. But yes, we have 4 of our 8 teams are ready to go. Incognito, XYZ, so far do good are on the top half, and then Team Static, I believe Marco, and then 2 others will be joining them on the bottom. So we do have enough for one match to get underway. I'll obviously let you know when we are getting that started. Brilliant. When you open a brand new bottle of water, it just goes, huzzah, I'm here, I'm awake. So yeah, we'll get that underway for you as soon as possible. What I can do for you now, if you are watching today but coming tomorrow, I can let you know perhaps a little bit about what is on the show floor if you're excited to see that. Obviously, I'm sitting in the tournament zone area where we do have our BYOC area. Should be noted that during the tournament we will be using provided switches from Nintendo. Just kind of keep everything on a nice cheeky little level playing field. Everyone has everything available to them. So it's all nice and fair. We have the Splatoon 2 zone where everyone's going to be hanging out as well. Our nice stage space in the center. We'll be showing you this in a lot more detail. But players can come down and play Mario Tennis Aces, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Starlink, Battle for Atlas, which is an incredible looking kind of like flight sim slash action adventure game, which is actually really, really good. It's kind of like Toys to Life, kind of akin to Skylanders. But the Switch version obviously has a exclusive Star Fox character toy, and then you obviously get the R-Wing as well, which is really, really cool. But yeah, Starlink Battle for Atlas I was very, very impressed when I gave that a go. You were playing it yesterday as well.
Yes, I was. It's really tricky. But it's awesome having that Toys to Life comparison.
Are you alive now? Are you okay?
I'm alive. I choked on excitement / a cough and nearly expired.
See, these are the challenges, you know, when you kind of like when you're done with like the teen years and you hit your mid-20s, you know, you're getting on a bit.
It's unfortunate.
You just kind of hit a point where you're like 25, 26, 27, and then you hit 28, and it just the entirety of life just goes, oh. And then all the things that are easy, like breathing, suddenly become much more difficult.
Really hard.
Picking things up. Things you didn't think were a thing are now a thing.
Of all the ways to go, though,
yeah.
Dying on a stream.
Yeah. Coughing. Yeah, just trying to breathe. Tough.
While saying that, I'm going to depart because we are going to be kicking off very, very soon.
Excellent.
And I'm going to bring in a special surprise commentator for
excellent. You. Okay, no worries. Thank you so much.
So I will see you guys in a bit.
Bye-bye, Alicia. Bye-bye. Okay, well, thank you so much indeed. As Alicia is going to go and grab the, commentary relief. Amazing. Yeah, I'll kind of do my best. So we're going to be getting underway with the tournament very, very shortly. A community member who shall be joining me in just a moment is going to be having a sit down right next to me here is Tamashi Kanjo. Please put on the headset and we'll have a little chat. There we go. Hello.
Hello there.
How are you doing?
Pretty okay.
Pretty okay, yeah?
Yeah.
Welcome to Nintendo UK Versus. If you don't already know who this is Tamashi, a member of the Splatoon 2 community, a player yourself, and I believe, have you been entering the Octo League tournaments thus far?
Yeah, I have been actually.
Yep.
I took part in the qualifiers at the Nintendo Versus UK event, which happened in London.
Yep.
Didn't get far,
okay.
but to be fair, there are a lot of great teams out there.
Yeah,
there are a lot of high-level players who have put more than double the amount of time that I have.
Yeah,
so, but at the end of the day, it's still a lot of fun to take part in, and we've got a good turnout once again.
Yeah, exactly. So. There's a whole bunch of people sitting down and getting ready, and obviously I will let you know when we can jump into our first game, but we'll wait for the tournament adjudicators to let us know. In the meantime, obviously we can talk a little bit about Splatoon 2. First of all, are you going to be entering any more qualifiers? Because we obviously have more coming up.
So whatever happens, I'm entering at EGX, because it's like, I already have the tickets there. They were booked like months in advance, so it's like they'll most definitely be there. I mean, and if I come out early, then I'll just probably see if I can commentate anyway. So
you never know.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know. Thank you.
And then probably after that, I'm not sure. It depends on what other events come up. I know there'll be another online qualifier. I think like either next month or the month after.
Yeah.
So I'll probably see if I can try for that as well. But that will probably be about it.
We're never wanting for more opportunities, I think, is the thing. Always plenty of opportunities for our players to come in and get that spot if they can. They are very few up for grabs, so make sure you can come down and get them if you can. So, we have a few teams here today. Our first game is going to be Incognito versus XYZ. It's a best of 5, as you can see. We will be playing Clam Blitz on Piranha Pit, Splat Zones on Wahoo World, and then Tower Control on Snapper Canal. And should it be anything other than a 3-0, we will be seeing Rainmaker on Schellendorf Institute and Humpback Pump Track for another Clam Blitz. So the game is ready, and we're going to be jumping into that as soon as possible. So it's going to be getting underway with Incognito and XYZ. So Incognito we've seen this year already. Do you know much about XYZ? Or a team unknown to you?
Kind of unknown to me. I like quite a number of teams about that when they come up with these kind of events. It's like sometimes they'll have done like regional stuff and like Nintendo Players UK and stuff like that, and then sometimes you'll see them in an actual formed team, and it's like, I might know the player, but I might not know the team.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's sometimes easier to follow a specific player and they're jumping around teams. I think that's the thing, like static teams, not team static, but static teams are one of those things that maybe are harder to kind of get into when you're kind of getting involved in the scene for the first time. And then you'll find that static team as you go. But Incognito, we have seen them already at MCM, putting in a nice performance. Hopefully going to see them make some headway today as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like any sort of team, like you get the general idea. Like when you attend these kind of events, you build up on that experience, and it's like anything that they could take away from that, they'll take it to the next event. They'll probably have a lot of time practicing between then and now. So we'll see what they've done. Maybe if they decide to switch up their weapons, maybe they switch up the gear as well alongside that, or if they just go, look, we're comfortable with this. We just need to put the time and the practice in with it.
Of course, yeah. Having a look over, and I believe our players are just kind of getting their loadouts sorted, and then we're going to be getting underway as soon as possible. But in terms of Incognito, these are one of our pre-signed up teams. So we do have, it's Moody, Seth, Stevens, and Alex are the names of the team. So there we go. We've got, in the yellow then, is going to be Incognito, and XYZ in the purpley bluey. So, Clan Blitz, what do you think? Fun stage?
Fun stage, especially for Piranha Pit. Like, thankfully it's not a Rainmaker where the stage is like very much different, but like with this, it's still as true to it is in Turf 4, and you see the baskets on both sides of things. The conveyor belts don't really move next to the baskets, it's just mainly in the main stages, that main area that you see that move.
Yeah, so far it's been, you can see Seth maybe making their way forward with a few clams that doesn't have the power clam to make anything of it. Subzan having to move just a little bit further back.
Oh wow, and already take it down. That's why you see the bubble blowers used quite often in this kind of mode, because not only can it be used aggressively, you see that push already happening, points on the board, but it can be used defensively as well.
And you see just the stage control from that bubble, because it was just staying there and it was just holding its ground, and no one could really challenge it. Right now you can see Stevens getting around the backside, throwing in some clams, getting that point down very nicely.
Yeah, no one's really on the ball in time to really stop that. They finally did now, but they went down immediately. You can see XYZ just struggling to try and push back, but finally gets the double splat, and that should allow them to close that timer down and get that basket back up.
That was important for Harry, though, to get that. I mean, he did have two against him, and you could just see the Team Incognito just throwing away, just a clam, maybe spacing out the throws just to keep that timer ticking as best as possible.
Yeah, now what they'll need to do is they need to protect that. Obviously, the second you pick up that power clam, you are highlighted to the rest of the team, so you see already being forced all the way back to their own basket before finally getting that splat in. Can they get the second one, Alex? No, not quite.
Alex stopped them there, but we can see that Mario Ben kind of got that KO onto Seth as well. So,
but it won't mean nothing if that. Yeah, and there you go. Just see it there. If you don't pick that power clam up, it will just disappear on you, and unfortunately, we'll have to pick up the clams and get it all over again.
Seth there just kind of getting the flank onto their opponent. So far, it's very much in favor of Incognito. Strong lead at this point.
Yeah, I was going to say, they don't have to be overly aggressive at this point. They could choose to defend it, but there's still a very long way to go in this. And as you can see, they're just falling down all over the place. And Incognito, they could get a push going here. If they've got the bubble blow ready as well. So the second they start moving, you'll probably see that just whip out. And before you know it, again, 4-2 advantage again.
And you can see as well the use of the Ink Storm just to slowly have that encroaching space. Moody with the power clam doesn't get the throw out. Too much pressure.
Yeah, a bit too much pressure there. Tri-Slosher on hand though. Can they pick it up and throw it in? Yes, they will. That should be, and all the clams around them. That'll be some nice, easy points if nobody can stop them.
That should be. At this point, game. Oh, Harry does a very good job there just to push back and get those splats. So only one extra clam in from 23 to the 20.
Yeah, and they'll get that free power clam back, but again, they'll have to be careful because they just keep losing squid just in that middle. Again, already a 4-2 advantage to Incognito, so it's like, don't push too far up. You've got to wait for your teammates to come back to you.
Yeah. So Harry here and Subzan together need to just kind of work together at this point to keep Harry safe whilst also pressing forward. There's so much pressure though coming from this, from the conveyor belt. You can see all of these splat bombs coming over.
Yeah, it's the splat bombs from the Tri-Sloshers. Like every single time every time it kind of exploded, it just threw another one because they'd already got the ink back quick enough. Oh, hello.
Mario Ben gets round the back and tries to flank, but he hasn't got any support. He's got some clams, gets a few points out, but nothing major. Harry jumps over, but gets taken out. But
yeah, but just got it in, just got the clam in just in time, so they got more points, but Subzan managing to keep that timer up through another climb in there, but I think that might be it for that push.
That was a really brave push, though. Managed to get 49 points out. Really nice stuff. Getting the flank and then just having enough to get out there. Nothing. Yeah, there was a little bit of immediate defense, and they managed to hold on enough to get some points. They're going to need to try and pull something like that together again.
Ooh, Alex tried to go for that push. Had bubble blow as well, so you'll have to recharge that all over again. Tri-Slasher again managed to pick it up, just missed the throw, and that is a wipe as well.
That is good stuff there from XYZ just to keep themselves safe in this scenario.
See this.
Incognito maybe getting a little bit too antsy.
Yeah, I was going to say, with 1 minute to go, at this point, you'd want to defend that lead as much as possible. See that power clamp, that's just gone as well, so Incognito, XYZ will have to once again get that up, but they have it. Harry has the power clamp.
And here comes the Stingray as well, just pressurizing. That's 1 splat down, that's 2 on Steve, and 3!
Oh.
That's a great one. Now, can XYZ capitalize?
Yeah, Subzan is there, Murray is there. Can they get that climb in and just force this overtime just a little bit? No, they threw it all the way down. No!
That was unfortunate. They had the throw, but just a little bit of spaghetti, unfortunately. By spaghetti, I mean choking, just kind of like a bit too much pressure to get it right. Sorry for the terminology.
No, it's fine. And with 10 seconds to go, Incognito, they should have this. So I think they're the only ones with a football on the field. So I don't think they'll see the overtime coming up. No, it is the overtime. So bubbles are out. They'll have to defend this.
You can see so much pressure from those bubbles in the central space. XYZ have to kind of move around it. But there's a 3-man wipe, and that's the end of that game. Incognito taking game 1. That was a tough game, because Incognito had a really strong lead, a really strong push to begin with. But then XYZ kind of they managed to just steal their defenses for a little bit, managed to get that flank, and completely take Incognito by surprise. We had to scramble and get that defense.
Yeah, credit to XYZ. They were very patient. It took them quite a while for them to find their footing, but the second they did, well, you saw that solo push, and obviously they squid jumped straight in. It's like they knew they had the football. If they could just throw it the second they land, they might score the points, and they did.
Yeah. And it wasn't enough, unfortunately. It was one of those things that Incognito had to kind of just reorganize themselves.
Yeah.
And there was a little bit of pressure coming out from XYZ, but they tried to find their way in after that. But I think Incognito managed just to hold on and keep themselves safe for long enough.
Yeah, just long enough. And now, as you saw, it went into overtime as well in the end. So it was just but at that point, if Incognito could at least get the player advantage, they can at least go, okay, it's 3-1, it's 4-1. All we need to do is just make sure that football just disappears, nobody else can pick it up, and the second it goes, overtime is over.
Yeah. So it was a nice kind of hold there, but that first game does go over to Incognito. So we'll be moving on to our second game. I've forgotten the stage because it's completely left my head. I have it right here, 1 second. We'll be using the same rule sets across the pools, and then we'll be having different, we're changing up the matchups and the maps. Afterwards. I'll just have it right here.
That makes sense.
There it is. It's going to be Wahoo World Splat Zones. There it is. So Wahoo World, one of our newer stages.
Yes, certainly.
Splat Zones is obviously, if you're kind of new to Splatoon 2 competitive play, maybe many of you are not, so I'm just going to go and be covering old ground or old turf. But Splat Zones, rather than having a one kind of specific spot and trying to collect items to pressurize with, there's going to be zones, and it's all about turf coverage of that zone.
Yeah, a lot of people like to say it's like a condensed turf war, because it's just it's the one point that you need to turf.
Yeah. So rather than having to focus on everything, you have a focus point. So it's all about wrestling control from your opponent into that area, and then maintaining that stage control.
Oh yeah. We might see somebody bring out an Ink Storm. That kind of thing does help with that kind of coverage, because the second you throw it, it'll do its job.
Yeah, it's just guaranteed pressure and coverage of that space, for sure.
Exactly.
And you don't have to do anything. It's consistent and slow, always pressurizing, and it just kind of forces the opponent to do something at that space.
Oh yeah. And it looks like we're ready, and well, true to name, we do have an Ink Storm in the form of the Blow Blubber, one of our most recent weapons.
Yeah, nice to see it as well.
Yeah.
We'll see how our players can do that. So yeah, this central zone here is going to be our area for the splat zonage. I think it's one of the few not rectangular zones, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, most of them are follow a square shapes. I think Macklemore is a slight exception where it's a plus sign and not an actual square, but already, as you can see, Incognito have that control. Once again, doing great with that first push, and Octo shot going off on hill, but Lonely gets taken out.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
A 2 for 2 for 1 there, so currently in control of Incognito. When that came out as well, when they got control, immediately with the Ink Storm to you know, try and get some defensive pressure going. Here is the Blow Blubber.
Yep, going straight up against the Hydra, and just, it was a very good thing to do that. Just close the range that Hydra could do. It's very hard to do anything with that in close combat. Already just bouncing around. Bowler comes in. That'll stop it for just a moment, but they need to do more to try and take that point.
But look at that. They get the I think that's double Ink Storm
Yes,
to completely keep the control, and they get back the point before they could get the bonus points added onto their timer.
Yeah, it's like the one thing you don't want to do in split zones is like to get so far down and then penalty points applied. It could take so long to get it back. And already you can see that Blobber just keeping the Julie Squelchers at bay with 5 points to go. I don't think they'll be getting there quick enough. No, they won't.
That was a commanding game from Incognito. They got hold of that round, of the zone, and did not let it go. You can see the players there congratulating each other for very, very strong play. You know, we were talking about this Ink Storm, obviously, and we just saw it used once defensively, but then again offensively, starting on the location, cleaning up any space they needed to, regaining control, and just pushing their opponent back.
And the best part about that, it wasn't just one either, it was two. Like the second you put them side by side, it just basically just like a nice cascade of rain. It's so hard to get back through that. And you saw at the same time that XYZ did fire off Tenta missiles to try and sort of like peg them back to force them to go off from where they were. But unfortunately, they weren't able to do anything about that because of the double Ink Storm.
Yeah. And it was just really, really strong stuff from them. And I mean, not only just when it came to their tactical strength in that match and sorting everything out in terms of just kind of holding space, their actual like combat ability in that game was very, very strong. They consistently kept them at bay, getting the splats they needed, always on the advantageous side with, you know, two for ones. At worst, I think it was a one for one.
Yeah.
And towards the end there, it was a 3 for 1. They were always on the winning side of any of those skirmishes. So just pushed, and it's a different kind of game than Clan Blitz when it's all about getting items, then using those to get points.
Yeah.
When the timer starts, you have to stop that timer.
Oh yeah.
It's always this consistent marching towards the victory.
Yeah, and you saw the Slosher trying their absolute best to do so, but it's like there's not much you can do when A, you're on your own, and B, the whole team have their specials ready. It's like that'll just peg you down just bit by bit. It was also interesting to see that XYZ played with quite a lot of the ranged weapon. You saw like a couple of Julie Scorchers, and then you had the Hydra, and you see that going up against something like the Blow Ball, but that sort of like excels being as close to you as possible, because it's like if every hit of that Blow Ball hits you, it's a splat.
Yeah,
so
pretty much.
So for Incognito, it was like they were great just to go straight in their faces and go, look, we know you've got the range, but we have the firepower.
Yeah. So looking ahead, we're going to be jumping onto Snapper Canal for tower control. Now, at Nintendo UK versus Live, we saw some fantastic games on this match for this mode as well. Tower control was quite a fun one for Snapper Canal.
Yeah.
I think it's quite a good stage for this mode, personally, just because of the makeup of the stage. I think it's quite a fun one, and generally the track that the tower makes. What do you think about this stage and these teams going into this?
I mean, for tower control in general, you'll see a Stingray come out of that, though. There is no doubt. It's always been in the meta. And you might see the missiles come in there as well, just because of the fact that, again, if the Stingray doesn't force you off, the missile certainly will.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So we're jumping into it right now. Again, our teams staying the same color just for, well, the whole color lock is very important. But yeah, instantly you can see XYZ getting the tower and immediately making their push. But of course, that over-exuberance to get on there does cost them a 3 for 1.
Yeah, it certainly does. And I was also about to say we'll probably see some blasters as well, because they are generally the weapon of choice for this mode. And you see not one but two of them. We've got the Flash Blaster and the Rapid Blaster Deco as well. So we've got one ranged blaster basically and one very quick fire blaster.
Yeah, also I believe it's 2 Jet Squelchers as well on the side of Incognito, just for that kind of longer range. Moody using the Stingray, but it gets taken down.
Yeah, it's always questionable to pop that Stingray on the towers. Like, if you can get some form of coverage and cover, then use it, but using it on the tower is a bit risky, because you are still you are a sitting target on that.
Usually Stingrays are used when your teammate is on a tower and you are far back holding the Stingray on the tower, so no one can get in there.
Like, the only time you really see specials used on the tower if it's a splashdown, or maybe Tenta missiles if you're quick enough.
Yeah.
And already you see the tower going straight past checkpoint 2. Flash Blasters on the one who's on it.
Look at Alex as well, just commanding so much on the tower with the blaster. Gets taken down eventually by a double splat from Harry. Good stuff from him there.
Managing to stop that just before it made it to the last checkpoint, and that's a team wipe as well. So this is their chance, this is XYZ's chance to get more turf control, get that tower pushed as far back to the center as possible.
Harry has decided to go for a swim.
Oh no.
Never do that.
Yeah, never do that, please.
Never do the 2-DOS. Never do the 2-DOS.
And you see Moody just coming down there, throwing it on that burst bomb. One of the more very efficient sub-weapons is like how little ink it uses, how quickly you can throw it.
Yeah.
And already you see the tower coming straight back. Stingray on that tower again. Just trying to keep track of, yep. And just goes through. Manages to just somewhat stay with that and takes down the Rapid Blaster in the end too.
Moody is just incredibly aggressive right now, and unfortunately XYZ haven't got an answer for it.
Yep, they did just there. Missiles came out just too late though. Flash Blaster goes down. Tower starting to go back around, but will we see a splat here? No, still not quite.
Harry and Zeph. Oh,
it's a trade! It's a trade after all of that.
That was brave work by both players. Moody getting one splat. Can he get a second?
Ooh, not quite. Decides to just retreat just a little bit, try and get a bit more cover. Also recover that health just a little bit. Grenade almost caught them by surprise, but not quite. You see the roller just on that top. Harry coming in, trying to get something on that middle ground. The explosion coming in to help. Finally gets the splat on Alex. I think they'll hop on the tower with that and try and push that forward.
Nice stuff again from Harry, doing very good job so far. The Ink Store, I believe that was coming out. So much pressure, trying to get in close and try and punish the usage of that Stingray.
Yeah, didn't quite get to where they'd like to. Also probably because the tower started going back towards the middle, which is not where they wanted to be right now. Julies are coming in. Can Harry take it down? Yes, but you gotta be careful of that blaster. No, not quite.
Again, brave effort. Almost made it to that check. Well, almost made it through the checkpoint, but not enough.
No, well, I hadn't actually gotten any time on that first checkpoint yet, so they'll still got a bit of work to do. Inkwall coming up. They are so determined to try and get something out of this. And Harry now just trying to flank around, seeing if they can catch them by surprise. Tower has been obtained again, but the Clash Blast on that left finally goes down.
They're back on again. The bubble blower coming out just to kind of hold the control at the front whilst they move around the flank to the side. There is, I think, 2 of them on the tower.
Yeah.
A blaster shot on there would be a bit devastating.
Yes, it would. There's the Dapples right behind the Explosion. Explosion got to be careful here. No, finally goes down. Somebody jumped in and got taken straight out as a result.
That was a team wide. Yeah, Stevens did a great job of coming around the back just to get that flank on them and got, I think, 2 splats for himself there.
Yeah, now the tower finally coming back on the Incognito's control with just a minute to go. Ooh, the flare though, it just went from them.
Yeah, it was a 3-for-1 as well in favor of XYZ. So they're going to take control again. The Stingray coming out from the spaces back.
And there we go, Stingray coming out. Just going to try and keep that coverage up just a little bit more. Blaster now on the tower. We'll see where they go with this. Alex just sitting on there, keeping an eye on things. Rollers coming up from the left, but taken down by the Sculpture. This should help them keep control just a little bit more. 10 missiles out, going straight towards that Explosion who has nowhere to really go and gets taken out by combination of that. And oh, nice! That was really nice throw with that Inkwall, just forcing them straight off there. That might get them taken out, and finally does.
20 seconds left, and we've got a big push back from XYZ that they have to make right now. There is a splat coming down. It looks like Incognito are going to hold on to this one with 10 seconds remaining. It's a bit too much effort, I think, at this point.
Yeah, but they keep getting those trades. If they could just take down the Clash Blaster at this point, someone needs
to the tower. Harry's on the tower. This is the last push. Overtime is happening now. XYZ have got a mountain of work to do. Can it be done?
Well, you never say never in these kind of tournaments. Harry on that tower, but they need their teammates here because that Clash Blaster will take them down if they're not careful. Down they go. All they need to do, there you go.
Get on the tower, and Incognito take that game 3-0. We will not see the 4th map, but that was a very strong game. Teammates there, bumping fists. They're happy with their performance. XYZ played really well. They kept on pushing. The only kind of real, clear victory was the splat zones. But outside of that, XYZ were always pushing back and always being a threat. Yeah,
it was definitely one of those things where, the tower control just, it kept going. Again, Incognito had that first big solid push, and then XYZ did their absolute best to try and make sure it didn't go any further than that. They tried to push back as much as they could. And like I said, it started to come towards the end again, because they managed to get the bubble blower, they got a bit more turf control, they finally got past the first checkpoint. And Incognito at that point went, okay, look, we need to get this back and we need to extend our lead a little bit more to give us that bit more comfort. And right at the end, it was always on the enemy side. So in the end, Incognito, they definitely deserve it. Good 3-0 win, but take nothing away from this from XYZ. They definitely did a great job.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's one of those things where because it is a single elimination, they won't have that chance to kind of go for the losers run. Because they did play very, very nicely. It's always nice to see how far a player can go when you have that double elimination chance. But you know, this is not the last chance for them. They're going to have more chances. Chances. They're going to have more chances. So I believe up next. So the winner of the next match will be playing Incognito in the Pool A semi-final, and I believe we're going to have so far Do Good and
Good name.
H.
Also good name.
Do you know? I know that So Far Do Good are one of our signed up teams. So in this one, if they sign up on the day, I don't know who's entering. So Far Do Good are Nomad, Wug, Clover, and Mikan. I know some of these names.
I know Mikan.
Yeah, I was gonna say Mikan, and I feel like I know Nomad. I feel the name.
I've definitely heard the name. Like I definitely know Mikan.
Yeah,
I certainly know Mikan in that team.
Okay, so can you tell us a little bit about Mikan then, for the players at home who may not know about this player?
Not off the top of my head, unfortunately. Like there's always
you know
like
the name rather than
I know the name more than anything, but obviously they are a very good player.
Yeah.
Of that I can tell you.
So we're going to be seeing them with their team and seeing how they do. They're going to be going up against H, who are one of our signed up on the day teams.
Which is always good to see.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be. It's always nice to see people just kind of coming down. Yes, it's always nice to kind of have people show up on the day and you know, bring their best. We do, however, have an interview with Alicia and the team Incognito who just won. So we'll throw it over to Alicia with that conversation.
What a match to kick off with. You guys just had a clean sweep. How did that go for you?
I felt it went really, really well. A lot of the stuff that we tried to do pulled off. And it was kind of one of those things that it just felt like everything clicked just as it needed to.
Because we saw you guys, I don't know if you remember, but if you were watching our MCM stream a few months ago, we saw you guys back then, and you've come back for a second time. What have you been up to since last time we saw you?
Well, I actually wasn't there back in May. I was in the middle of my final exams for university.
Right.
I really wanted to come. So this is my first time actually coming to an NV UK event, and it's been great so far. It's been really fun. A lot of fun.
But like your teammates were here representing at MCM, so
I was here, and so we've kind of just been grinding and pushing to become better and trying to get a little bit further so we can get up on that stage next time.
And it is quite the stage. It's like when you go up on there later, I'm saying when, because we will see you. How are you going to cope with the nerves? Because it's a really different pressure of actually like being up there on the stage rather than down here in our tournament zone.
We're just going to talk about our game plan and make sure that we know what we're doing. I think we're just going to try and focus on that, and hopefully that will make us just focused and ready to play.
All right, well, before we throw back to Bowie, I want quick fire from all three of you. The one thing that you wish you knew when you started playing Splatoon 2.
Ink recovery is necessary on every weapon.
How big the community was going to grow.
Ah, that's a nice one. That's nice.
Really, no one's judging you as much as you think. Everyone's friendly, everyone's welcoming. Just get stuck in.
I love that. That's so inspiring. All right, well, back to you, Bowie.
Thank you very much, Alicia. Or just get stuck in. Words to live by. Just get involved. Just get involved.
I will say I absolutely echo the ink recovery up is necessary. You have no idea how much, especially some of the more ink efficient, like the more weapons that use a lot of ink, like the Rage Blaster, for example. You really need it.
Yeah, I think that guy goes without saying. When you think about it, like, you know, ink is the most important resource you have in the entire game. Having it recover faster is never a bad thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely
never a bad thing. Always go for it.
But yeah, again, as they also said, the community is amazing. Like seriously, obviously I grew up with the Splatoon 1 community, and that was amazing. Like, and that community just evolved the second cup.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a blast. I can't recommend this community enough.
Okay, so we're going to be getting on as well to our next game. We're actually going to be having game 3 up, or match 3 up next, which is going to be Team Static versus Incredible.
Ooh.
Team Static.
Now Static, I do know.
Yeah, so these are comprised of 2 members from North Wales and 2 members from Manchester.
Yep.
Because the Nintendo players were having an event, and it was like a big regional event up there. and they basically have 2 players come together to do that.
Yep.
I believe, if I'm not
Yeah, I was
mistaken
going
on
to say,
my...
I know them from the Nintendo Players UK Squid League, where they basically had teams from all the different regions around the UK, and they had like a full 22-week tournament.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun to see all of that, and as a result, you get to see all these different players from all these different regions that maybe you wouldn't have seen originally. So it's like the two players from each of the 2 best teams in the league.
Yeah.
So it, in theory, should be a really awesome team.
So we have the Mole, Spid, Tekerai, and Cyber GW.
Yep.
Recognize any names immediately?
I reckon
all
the
4
stuff.
names. There we are. So again, we're going to be going back into our round 1 best of 5, and you can see we're going to be playing on Clan Blitz, Piranha Pit first of all, Splat Zones, Wahoo Wild again, and then Tower Control, Snapper Canal. And if we do see a game 4, I feel like I say this every single time. If we see a game 4, and we may not, but if we do, we'll be going on to our 4th and 5th map too.
I really want to see Rainmaker.
Yeah, I think when you have Rainmaker as round 4, that's always the exciting one, because that's the really, what's the word I'm looking for? That is the really volatile map, or round, because it's so aggressive, and anything can just like, because a play can be so quick, because it's all about how fast you move through the map specifically, rather than a moving, rather than tower control, which is quite a slow moving objective, it's how fast you can move. So if you're like, smashing out the gate.
I have been involved and also seen matches that just end in 30 seconds of Rainmaker. It could be insanity.
Yeah.
And that's why I love it.
Exactly, we love a little bit of insanity. Great stuff. So yeah, we're going to be getting Team Static versus Incredible. Now, if there's one thing I know that the Splatoon community love, it's puns. So when I hear the team Incredible, I'm not sure which Incredible it is, because everyone loves the very easy to go to Ink pun. So, Woomy Yellow.
Of course, this is Squid named Woomy. Of course.
Mr. Duck. And Gina. Okay, cool, excellent. So here we are. Snapper Canal. Clam Blitz. Got to collect 10 clams, get that power clam, throw it onto the ball, break the shield, and throw clams into the basket. Yeah, simple enough.
And Piranha Pit already claiming its first victim.
Piranha Pit, yeah. That's the 3rd one. We just did Snapper Canal.
That's all right. So yeah, already that player advantage going down. You see Team Static already having that advantage. They've got 20 clams. Surely they must have a power clam at some point. Not quite yet, but surely they'll start throwing some at this point. It's on that push already. Gina trying to come around on that left side. Just trying to keep an eye on what the Lunar Blaster and the Splattershot Pro Forge are up to. And then Cyber coming in and keeping them back. Gets a splat on yellow with that blow blobber and then goes down as well. I think that was Woomy who got the splat there. And Luna going all the way up. I think they've got a power. Yep, Maul's jumping straight over there. That should be a score, and it certainly is.
Yep, the barrier's down, and Team Static going to be starting to get those clams in if they can. Gina was caught out by a very fantastic long-range Stingray from Tekerai.
Yeah, and the Stingray going into that bubble as well really does help, because like if your teammates can't hit it, the Stingray most certainly will, and it does count as damage and will pop it if you're not careful. Now, just getting that turf slowly back. Who's going to pick up that football? It looks like it's Woomy. Woomy has the football. Gina with that splashdown. Didn't quite get anybody with it, but certainly gets turf control with it. And now just going to try and help Woomy. Just try and push forward just that little bit. Lunar Blaster has gone down on Static side.
Woomy is taken down, unfortunately. They are all eyes on the power clam holder. Gina again tries to push forward, and the clam falls into the water, I believe.
Oh, yeah, that immediately takes it out. And now Maul is the one who has the power clam. Just keeping their wits about them there. Managed to get Woomy down, but I think we lost the Squeezer as well. We also lost the Blow Blubber, so it's just Maul on their own at the moment. Lunar Blaster did exactly what they did last time round. Went all the way to the basket, and Squid jumped straight over.
Very, very nice. They just managed to get the power clam on, and that's enough to help out. 60 points remaining now for Team Static. Shield's back up, though.
Yep. The splashdown just catching out Techie, but unfortunately does go down to Cyber and that wonderful blow blobber once again. Football is on the field on the enemy side, but Cyber only needs 2 more to get a clam of their own. Has Inkstone ready as well. Probably will use it with the push maybe, but also just wants to take that down as quickly as possible. They're going to make the purge. Can they make it there? No, not quite.
A little bit too antsy, just trying to get that throw off, and they weren't in a position to really do so. Unfortunate.
Yeah. Oh wow, they just managed to pick it up just in time. It didn't go off this time, but oh no, down it goes.
The conveyor belt slowly taking the power clam away.
And you see now it looks like the Lunar Blast is doing exactly what they did last time. Yep, this is the strategy that a lot of people end up using in this mode. The baller just rolls up straight to the climb. They don't need to pop it, they just need someone to squid jump to them, and that's that.
Cyber doing great usage there of the blah blah blah.
Yeah, also it's like, yep, I've done my duty here, I'm just going to jump straight back to spawn.
Be safe. 20 points well, 20 penalty points to get through as well. So that'll be enough for the power clam to take out.
Yeah.
But Cyber loses their life and the power clam too.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be too worried about that. I mean, like I said, Gina's got it pretty much covered. I don't think Spid will get to that in time. No, they doesn't. And it puts them into a bit of danger now because Wumi knows exactly where they are. Gina just swimming around, just going past the roller. Want to try and go up there, but they don't need to do what they did last time around. That's it. Before, like just solo pushing.
Cyber with a great line there from the blah blah blah, and tries to push back.
Yeah, Cyber just going just a little bit back. You see all the walls is coming up and the bubbles finally going up for defense purposes. And unfortunately don't really get in anyone and no one's in range to take advantage of it. Gina finally starting to push forward.
Wow, there was a fantastic defensive scramble there from Team Static. It resulted in a 2-for-2. There was so much pressure coming out from Incredible, but Static held on well. But saying that, Wumi does get a splat down the corner. 5 clams on their person.
And they finally break the barrier with that. Can they throw it more in? No, not quite. They only get enough for just 3 points. And it looks like Team Static are going to do everything there. That was a nice little wipe there. That will protect their base quite nicely, but they'll not want to let them in again.
8 currently for Spid, who's looking maybe to get that conversion into the power clam and push forward as much as they can. That's 10. Okay, Gina is on Spid.
Ooh, 3 to 2, and obviously Yellow's just coming back in now. Ball exploding. Can Luna do anything? Yes, gets 1. Can they get Yellow? No, not quite. But I don't know if they have a power clam ready. Incredible. I don't think they do. No, and so as a result, there is no overtime.
So Static taking that first game. Nice, a strong start. I can give you a couple of updates about match 2 that happened. So far, Do Good beat Team H 3-0, so they will be going on to play Incognito on the other side of the bracket.
That's awesome.
But obviously, we'll keep you here on this side. Team Static are 1-0 currently up over Incredible so far. So that's a good start for Team Static.
And again, Incredible can take some stuff away from that. Kind of like how the first match went with Incognito. XYZ. It took them a while to find their footing, and they finally managed to get through. They finally managed to do a solid push. Obviously, the first push they did was a solo push. It didn't really quite work for them.
Yeah.
But actually working as a team, they realized that actually maybe this can work. And then their third push, unfortunately, just lost. They both had two power clams ready to go, but unfortunately, they were just able to defend that just in time.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that, you know, the first few moments of these games, if it's a brand new team, it's all information. You're just taking in as much information as possible, trying to figure out the little bits and pieces of their strategy and see how you can, you know, adapt to counter that.
Yeah.
And, you know, this is why kind of you see those comebacks or those turnaround plays mid to late in these games.
Yeah, it's why we always say, like, it's never over until that whistle goes, because it's like it can so easily turn, like, in any of the modes. It's like you could have such a massive, comfortable lead, and all it takes is that one solid push, and then suddenly it just clicks and it all falls into place.
Aye. So we're going to be looking forward, and it's going to be Splat Zones on Wahoo World.
Back to our good old theme park.
Yeah. We do, obviously last time we saw a lot of Inkstorm usage. You know, we saw a lot of immediate control coming out from Incognito, so XYZ couldn't really get much into pushing back. So it's going to be interesting to see if we have a bit more of a level game for this particular round.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we always talk about the Inkstorm with Splat Zones, but obviously you've got the Tenta missiles. We saw them briefly with From XYZ to sort of like help push that thing back, but at the same time, anything that can help put more turf down, you'll generally try and see them in Splat Zones. So it's not always like, some people don't particularly like using the set special, so they'll try and switch up to maybe a bubble blow and maybe even a splashdown.
Yeah. Okay. So, again, Team Yellow are Team Static, and the purple team being Incredible.
You're still annoying me that Yellow is not on Team Yellow.
Wow. Production. No.
Anyway, off they go. And yeah, already you can see we got suction bomb launchers and a splashdown on that team, but we've lost the Octo shot already.
A little bit of a slower start, but eventually the dam breaks and Static are in. The timer going down. Immediate control push back from good pressure play from
Yeah, it's
Musta.
2-2. Bunyolo coming in, trying. I think they're going for the splats more than the turf, and unfortunately lost out in that fight as well.
Yeah, Cyber just holding back and seeing that the focus was not on him, managed to just get in there and get as much coverage as they could.
Ball up. Will they pop the ink storm at any point now? I think Cyber's probably going to just hold on to this just for a little while. Just keeping those bubbles flinging. Spot somebody coming just at the last second. The wall again, helping their teammates, just protecting them just that little bit. Roller trying to come up, gets a couple flicks, but not really getting any damage on there. Cyber just keeping them back and finally decides to pop the ink storm.
Coming out, nice splat there as well from Cyber with the long range from the blah blah blah. The hard word to say when you have a stammer.
Yeah.
But again, control is just consistently in Team Static's side. Every now and then Incredible have these moments of interest, but they need to push forward now.
Yeah, you can see like it's already the Inkjet is just firing away from almost their spawn area. Mauler's keeping them going. Blow Blubber Bubbles combination coming out, and the suction bombs came too late.
And that is 2-0 going over to Team Static again. Gets that immediate control and does not let it up.
No, it's very hard to get this. Like, if you're pushed back all that far and like the entire team are coming at you, it's so hard to get through that. And like you said, with the Blow Blobber especially, is like if it misses you, it could bounce off a wall.
Yeah. So I think we had this conversation when we were doing commentary for the Esports Scotland event. We were saying that it's important even in these kind of things that yes, you want to get to the objective, excuse me. But people always tend to forget to actually still mark their own territory, because when you're trying to get back, or when you do get beaten out immediately, it means that the opponent has to work harder to cover and push you back. It gives them more work to do.
Yeah, because if you don't do that, you get caught in the enemy ink, and that's the unfortunate thing. It's like that's why sometimes you'll see some people like put in some subs of ink resistance up, because you can actually move a bit more in the enemy ink, but not many people do it because you just generally ink the turf around you as it is, because that's generally the rules of the game.
Yeah, okay, of course, yeah. Like, sometimes you maybe want to go for a bit more of like a utility-based approach.
Yeah.
But if you're not covering, even if it's just neutral space, covering it is always going to be important, because when enemies try, if you do lose out an initial skirmish, the enemies are not going to have as easy of a time of covering and stopping you from getting back if you've already done that.
Yeah, one of my favorite things to do with that is like the curler bombs and the burst bombs. The curler bomb will just leave a trail of ink that you could just follow, and if you have the ink, you could just fling it and then you turn away. And the burst bomb's kind of the same way. You could throw a burst bomb down and then just jump straight into that puddle and just keep doing that. Well, I say keep doing that. Do it until you've run out of ink.
Yeah.
And then hope that you've gotten back into the sort of like the safer side of your stage.
Yeah. So we're going to be going on to, now we're going to Snapper Canal, excuse my blunder earlier, for tower control again. We saw a very exciting game last time from our teams. It's back and forth, but again, Incognito manages to hold on to, their space in the end. So how's it going to go today? Again, so far we've seen it be, close game, wipe, close game. We'll see if we can get into a game 4 with Incredible maybe taking this game.
Yeah, interesting to see that Incredible choosing not to run a blaster, but we've got a blaster on the other side from Team Static, and already the roller goes down, and once again you see that turf coverage mostly on Team Static's side.
Yeah.
Gina just trying to keep an eye on things. Tax just managed to hop on, then hopped off, just to try and force them to do something. Rui goes forward, but goes too far forward and gets taken down immediately. Stingray is going to come out, try and force Team Static to, go. Oh, wow, we just saw somebody jump on. Might be a Stingray of their own coming out. Yes, it is, but it's from the mall.
Yeah. I found that what I've seen is that Incredible tend to be playing a lot more comfort picks for weapon setups rather than kind of like adjusting what they need for the situation at hand. Which again is one of those things that if you're comfortable with your pick, you're comfortable, and that's the best you're going to play. Yeah. But you can find yourself at a disadvantage if you're not kind of playing to a specific meta, I guess.
I mean, the meta is there because it's like these are the weapons that are generally advised to use, but it's sort of like there as a thing. Yeah, it's like they're there because you can use them and they might help you more, but if you're comfortable with a set weapon, it's how you work around that. And wow, Cyber just going crazy with that ray.
Absolutely fantastic. Just the space coverage and just kind of always making sure to follow their opponent and just keep that pressure up. 10 spaces left. You can see them already pushing forward.
Oh, wow. They took the tower, but someone fell down. No, you fell off the tower. That's not how you do things. And Maul just getting taken down. Spit, the only one there. Can they get the spot on Gina? They do. Will they get onto that tower? They might just about still get there. Sparling is up there. They'll try and force this to go any further backwards. The blaster just misses. And the roller gets Maul as well. Looks like they're finally going to start pushing that back, but nope. Squeezer is now there and finally goes down to the Splasher Pro. This push is still not over though because the Slosher Machine is still there. It takes down Yellow. Gino is still pushing his back towards the midway spot.
Yeah, just pushed back so hard. You can see Gino always on the retreat there in that situation. Kind of tough to find their way in.
Yep, Slosher Machine finally going down, but the Squeezer is on there. Maul is now trying to sort of push forward with that squeeze, and at the same time, Spit's coming in there with the blaster. Gina doesn't see it at all. Woomy finally does. Can they get the spot? Yes, they do, and finally start pushing it back. 3-2, but that Cyber is going to be a pain for that roll to deal with, and in the end gets taken down by Maul and that Squelcher, and somebody missed the jump again.
What are you doing?
I know swimming is fun and all, but not for squids, and not for Octo League either. And Maul finally back on there, gets a couple of taps with the Squelcher.
Nice range.
Yeah, very nice range.
This is the beauty of the Jet Squelcher, just able to do that. Very, very nice usage of that wall coverage and just keeping their momentum or their movement crispy.
Yeah, Maul was dancing around that for so long, and then in the end gets betrayed. Spit goes down, but Musa finally goes down as well. Will they push it through? Sprinkle on there, but that's not going to do much. There you go.
A 3-0 then to Team Static, who will be the winners of this game and move forward to the semi-final on their side, and they will be playing the winner of the next two teams, which I have currently not got on here, but we will get that information to you. That I believe is happening at the same time, or should have been happening at the same time. So we might be going back up to semi-final 1 now, seeing how that goes forward. I'll get confirmation of that very, very shortly, but we will be obviously having games coming to you. But it's Team Static, the team that obviously we were expecting to win from that one, their pedigree and what they did to get here. Convincingly taking that match.
Pretty much. You know, like the tower control was just the case that it was like, okay, we've gotten this far. Can we please actually get the KO now? Because again, credit to Incredible. They held them off for so long. It was like they were doing their absolute best to make sure that KO did not go down. And again, they just kept pushing it back, finally getting it up there, and then it was just like all it took was just like a couple of stingrays, and that. I think
it was a case of like, they pushed so much and then they kind of hit a point where there was just this stalemate.
Yeah.
So as much as Incredible were doing to stop them from getting any further, until the very end, of course, they couldn't really get anything back either. It was just a push back, push back, push back.
Yeah.
It was just this kind of just handing off to each other.
And unfortunately, especially with the weapons that Static were using, like they had the Squelcher. Now, a lot of people like to use the Splasher Pros because obviously it does the damage and has the range, but the Squelcher has just a bit more range. It doesn't do as much damage, but that range, like you sometimes underestimate how much range that you have with that, and Maul was showing how good he was with that, being on the tower, being able to hit pretty much anything that he could see with that. And it was quite unfortunate for Incredible. Right at the end, they managed to get on the tower, but just missed it to the point where they got the sprinkler on, but nothing else. Unfortunately, a sprinkler at that point is the worst thing you could have done, because it's like they'll just hide on the other corner with 2 seconds to go and they've got it.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, they'll have learned so much from this, and hopefully we'll see them back again.
Yeah, of course. As I say, there's always more opportunities for players to come along and play and qualify for that national championships in November. Of course, it's probably a good time to bring up as well that if you are unable to make it to these events and play live for your chance to get to the national finals, we do have online qualifiers as well. There will be another online qualifier happening before the finals. We had one recently as well. So again, remember to follow this bad boy right here, Nintendo UK Versus, for all that information whenever it happens, just to kind of keep you updated about that. The one, I believe, it happened, I think it was like last week. If you were watching the MCM live,
use our own playing as well to improve our playing.
Do you have like a notebook and you do it under like a lamp in a darkened room?
Wow, that would be telling.
No, you don't want to reveal the location of your lair. So before going into this match, because I mean, you guys did amazingly. It was almost a clean sweep. Did you look at your team before this match and look at any of their strengths and weaknesses?
Do you mean my team or
Sorry, your opponent's team?
We just sort of, the first match we played, looked at our weapons, see what they were playing, roughly took what they were taking and how our weapons could adapt to that. So,
What are some of the good combinations in Splatoon 2?
well, like tower control with Stingray. I quite like Clamblitz with Bubbles. Sort of
Nice.
little things like that.
Nice. So going into the next match, do you know who you're playing?
Nope.
Okay, so you've actually not got that much time to dig the dirt on who you're
I'm
going
gonna have to get ready, you know.
Is that the plan? So what are you guys going to do now that you're finished?
Probably hang around here, just
Yeah.
talk about how that went. Maybe have a look round, but just have a bit of fun, really.
It's true, because like sometimes I feel like people come to these events and you forget to go around and see the rest of the
Yeah.
show. And like we've got a bunch of games even here on the Nintendo booth. Are you going to try any of the ones that we've got set up here?
I would like to quite try Smash Ultimate.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would.
Literally, the queue that we've had for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, like, already is going round the stand. Any particular character that you want to check out?
No, maybe Inkling. I know my character isn't here.
So on brand. I love it. Awesome. Well, before we throw back to Bowie, one last question for you.
Okay.
And I'm kind of intrigued. Like, how did you get into Splatoon 2? Why Splatoon 2 over any other Nintendo game?
I picked it up on release day and quite liked it. And it just, there's a lot you can improve just constantly. The meta's changing constantly. I just got into it and then I found a team. And it just kicked off from there because it's so much funner playing with a team than playing solo.
It absolutely is one of those games that if you're playing it with a group of people, you can suddenly get into this huge universe that opens up. Nice. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you and your team
Thank
a
you.
little bit later, and we'll throw back to you, Bowie.
Thank you very much, Alicia. Very interesting stuff there from our Team Static player. Again, sticking on brand for that interest in Inkling in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. If you are just joining us, welcome to Insomnia63 with Nintendo UK Versus. My name is Bowie Alexander, and I'm joined by Tamashi here in the commentary booth for the Splatter Day. Splatoon 2 Octo League is going to be all the tournament action for you today. We are making our way through Wave A currently. We finished round 1, I believe. And we're going to be moving on to the semi-finals of this pool very, very shortly. But yeah, it's so far so good. We've seen 2 fantastic games. It has, but it's been mainly from very, very competent and clean work from the winning side to kind of push their opponents to that defeat.
Yeah, I was gonna say with Incognito, they certainly had sort of like the more of the closer matches. I mean, not the tower control, the Splat Zone match was just dominant. I think both of the Splat Zone matches were absolutely dominant, but it was the tower control for Incognito and XYZ that was very much back and forth. That could have gone either way, and then obviously we saw with Static and Incredible. It was just like Static were not playing around. They are here to win this.
Yeah, they definitely want to get that that qualification to the national championships locked in, which is what our players are playing for. Again, if you are just joining us, the winner of today's tournament will be invited to the Splatoon 2 UK National Championships in November, and they will obviously have that locked in for them should that victory happen, which is what the prize everyone wants. And then obviously when the UK National Championship happens, all the prizes, the prizes, the prizes. It's going to be great. So yeah, we are going to be going to our semi-finals. So far, Do Good, that's not a typo, that is actually their name, and Incognito. Clam Blitz, Piranha Pit, Splat Zones, Wahoo World, Tower Control, Snapper Canal, and then if we do see Game 4, Rainmaker, Schellendorf Institute, Clam Blitz, Humpback Pump Track, I believe. Interesting. I'm not... Yeah, I was going to say, I was just about to say, that was a little bit differently looking than what I thought. I believe we should be playing on Marco Mart for Splat Zones Game 1, just because we do have different sets per round. I think that was still set to the other round, because there was meant to be another game that we didn't get to see. But, yeah, don't worry. Splat Zones Marco Mart will be our first round, do not worry. Got to make sure we switch it up and play different things, different rounds.
Splat Zone's Marco Mart will be interesting. Obviously, it's one of our more open stages of that. There is no doubt. Like a lot of matches have that kind of.
There we go. Thank you so much.
Of verticality, whereas Marco Mart, everything's in a consistent level. Like you can see pretty much what the enemy are doing at any point.
So thank you very much indeed for the updated one there. We've got Tower Control Manta Maria second, which I love. I do like the Manta Maria. Yeah. And then Rainmaker in Anchovy Games. What do you make of that one?
Oh, that's going to be brilliant. When Anchovy Games, that's pretty much our most recent stage added in, obviously from Splatoon 1, but it's had so many things edited, and obviously with Rainmaker, that will be a blast. That will be great to see that one.
And then if we do get a Game 4, Gobi Arena for Clam Blitz. It's going to be...
come on and slam.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a suitably enjoyable one there. And then if we see it to Game 5, Splat Zones again on the old classic, the Reef.
Classic Splatoon 2, man.
Man, I remember, when even before Splatoon 2 came out, it was just those early demos. And it was the Reef and crikey, I can't remember the name. The other one.
Back Pump Track.
No, that came a little bit later. That was like the first update that came in. It was the one with the climbing wall. I can't remember the name.
Oh, Fitness, Muscle Forge Fitness.
Muscle Forge. I knew it was Fitness, but I couldn't remember the first word. Muscle Forge Fitness.
There you go.
One. Those are like the first two. I remember playing like the demos and the.
Yeah, it's like pretty much every trailer that had something. It was mostly like here's the Reef.
yeah, here's your Reef.
It's always the one that I remembered the most.
It's going to be nice to see it again if we get to that Game 5. It's going to be a long way to go. We do have two teams who won their first rounds 3-0. So we'll see what can happen in this.
It could end up being pretty close, and if it is, then we'll enjoy it every step of the way.
Aye. So they're going to be going up against each other. In terms of, obviously, I said that the top two teams will be going through to the stage finals from each pool. So we'll have 4 teams in the finals. I do believe our players will be playing that final for seeding purposes. So the winner of Pool A will play the loser of Pool B, and vice versa for the other game.
Makes sense.
Looking around, I do recognize a lot of these players as well.
There you go.
We see players returning and having a little bit of fun. So Incognito again, and then so far Do Good, which again, as I said, was one of our pre-signed up teams. There's so much find and work through to get what I need. That's not it.
You can see already people just getting focused, just configuring with their controls, just seeing that everything works.
Okay. Just an update. The game will be played, the finals, but we're not going to actually be showing that on stream just for timing purposes. Just to let you know, in case you were looking forward to that. After the 2 semi-finals, we'll be moving on to Pool B, and we will have that final being played off, though, for seeding purposes.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
We only have so much time and can only get so much information out onto the stream at once. But I think it's fair to let you know if I claim that you're all going to see that.
Yeah.
Apologies.
That's fine. That makes sense.
But now I know, and it won't happen again. Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing with these kind of events. It's like sometimes it's like you lose track of time very quickly.
Yeah. I mean, I find it usually happens, but the more time you give yourself to do things like this, actually, the harder it is to kind of clarify.
Yeah.
I found myself when it comes to, I'm part of the Super Smash Bros. Community, and my team, we put on a lot of tournaments, and when you're trying to do a weekend-long tournament, you're kind of like, we have so much time to play with, and then you realize it's like 9:30 when you have to be out of the venue by 10, and you're still in like losers semi-finals, and you're like, dang, how are we going to get out? But you live and learn, and then you make sure that you're starting your top 8 at 3 p.m.
Yeah, I pretty much remember a similar kind of thing from last year when the UK Championships finals were happening at EGX, and we ran past the 6 o'clock as well. So it was like the event ended at 6 p.m. and the championship was still playing. We were still in the grand finals. Uh-oh.
The booths were like docked into the areas that we have available for people to play. There are just like groups of people in 4s or 8s just sitting down playing. I don't know. Never-ending practice.
Oh yeah. Oh, well, especially with these kind of tournaments. It's like, and even then, so like you'll see people like Dude, for example. I think he did this at Versus as well, where he was there. And he still went up to the actual Splatoon 2 booth and just sat down and was like, yeah, dude's just using like the level 1 default account with the Splattershot Junior. It's just like, this is a very weird thing, but it was just insane to watch him play that. It's like his character just nipping around all over the place. Like, I feel so sorry for the opposing team.
Well, it's a bit of fun. Top players can play however they like. It's just good to see them kind of like, getting involved with playing with the community.
Exactly.
It's always nice to see. But yeah, Dude's a very nice chap.
Oh yeah.
Bless him. Yeah, not used to kind of like. I was having this joke with Donut actually during UK Live.
Yeah.
We managed to throw Donut and Dude into comms together at the last minute, just to kind of like give them a moment. And Dude's is usually a more scripted chap, so Donut was holding down the fort. She was doing really, really, really well. It was cool to have them together and commentate and kind of bring their knowledge to streams like that as well.
I mean, anytime you can get any sort of like the high-level players, especially from like Team 4D, when they've been involved in so many tournaments, when they've participated in so many finals and won so much stuff, it's like to have them having the next year to do commentating is just like, there are so many things I could ask you, and also so many things you could just bring to the table and just
Yeah, like just little bits of insight into slight, like, you know, those more subtle moments of play that you may not be able to pick up.
Yeah.
It seems like our final player has logged into the LAN. I can see just about on these screens. They're facing this way, so I can't quite.
All I saw was just like the people behind him just like applauding. So it's like, okay, something must be happening.
Maybe on stage as well.
Oh, that's true.
Because currently we have Super Smash Bros. Ultimate on the stage, and I think I had a 4 Fox match.
Yeah, there was a 4 Pac-Man match before that.
Oh. Like Mark and Nims like to do this. I remember when Super Smash Bros. For Wii U was coming out. There's Mark and Nims there getting involved. Good old Mark and Nims. Nims and I used to host the stage. I've taken to the stream, and good old Mark there has taken my spot on the main stage. Doing a great job as always. But yeah, Nims and I ever had this thing when Smash for Wii U was coming out, and it'd always be like themed things. If we saw people like in cosplay, you come up and play your cosplayed character.
Yeah.
Or, you know, we'll have like, you know, I think there was one time when we had hula hoop rings, and it was like, if you come up, we're going to have just an all Wii Fit Trainer match. That kind of stuff.
That's amazing. Love it. They're doing all Ryu now.
Yeah, all Ryu match. So. All fun things to happen here at the Nintendo stage. If you haven't been down to one of the events at something like Insomnia, MCM or EGX, make sure you come down and see us.